There's a hurricane coming. You know what that means? That means it's time for me to do one of my disaster talks. Hi everyone! This is a video on hurricane preparedness. And one thing that a lot of my friends know is that I'm always ready for any sort of disaster. Yes, because I'm one of those foil wearing hat people. No, tinfoil hat wearing people. Yes. There we go, tinfoil hat. And I just love this because that's when I could say, look at this, I was ready. Okay, well anyway, some of you know Eduardo is on his way here. Most likely he won't hit, but in case he does, here are some tips that you should know and things that you should have with you. Well, you should have this anyway at this time of year. Bottled water, always, and also, I just have to put a plug in for Ozarka. This is like the greatest bottled water on the planet. And like, no, it doesn't come from like a factory or something. It's not made by Coca-Cola. This actually comes from a spring in Texas, and it's awesome. It's like the greatest water ever. Anyway, if you're taking medication, and Houston has an extremely high population of cancer survivors and also just cancer victims, so make sure you have a lot of your medications with you, if you at least a 2-week supply, because you never know if the pharmacies are going to be closed. And you know, we have thousands and thousands of cancer patients here, so make sure you have your supplies with you at all times. You also want a good pair of shoes, weatherproof shoes. Like these Timberlands are awesome. These have been all over the world. You know, I've gone over like mountains with these, with nails, everything, fire. They last through everything. Okay, so a good pair of hiking shoes. Oh yeah, also water. If you don't have that already, you might be out of luck because I know all the stores around here are out. And I have no running water thanks to AT&T. But thankfully I always have a case. And also, don't keep the case of water in your car, because if you're like me, someone will break in and steal it like they did a little while ago. I'm still mad about that. Also, remember to wear protective clothing, something more than this. And if you are wearing just this, and since this is Houston, most people will be just wearing this. Have sunblock, really good sunblock, a hat. Remember to put hats on your baby's heads, because there's nothing worse than seeing a little heat-stroked baby. Something that everyone should have at this time of year, or any time of year really, because they have a 5-year shelf life, are the high-calorie bars. This one is 2,400 calories, so this will last you a good 2 days. And this one is 3,600 calories. That's 3 days right here in this little handy vacuum sealed pouch. Once again, you've got the pouch. You can't beat that. And they can save your life. Another thing that everyone should have is a kit like this. And I'm so mad that like my really pretty one that I decorated was stolen out of my car along with that case of water. But in this, you have your high calorie bar. Also, you need to have something like water purification tablets or chlorine bleach, not the scented kind of chlorine bleach, because, you know, Houston water is wretched and brown or pink. Well, for me, it's either pink, brown, or yellow. Maybe once every month it'll be clear, but usually not. So, water purification tablets, because it'll get really bad if it floods. Also have some sort of sanitation wipes, baby wipes. Where do I have those? Okay, Boopy walked off with the other wipes. But that's another thing that you need to consider if you have a pet or small children. Bring food for your pets, and then also, of course, all of the items that you need for your kids, including toys, because it's good to have them entertained so they won't be so scared. This is another great thing to have. What this is a flashlight that is crank and solar operated. It's also an AM/FM radio and cell phone charger. So, but in case you don't have something like that, remember to have spare batteries with you. and you should always have spare batteries anyway, shouldn't you? But, yeah, anyway, that's a long story. So, have spare batteries, and because you want to use a flashlight, you don't want to use an open flame, such as with a candle, because like there was earlier today, there can be many gas leaks around town, and you don't want to blow up anything accidentally. Which also brings to another thing that you should always have, a fire extinguisher. So remember to have those items with you when you're in the car. You should also have other non-perishable food items if you don't have, you know, like your high-calorie bar. I'm sure most of you don't. But, yeah, come over here, I have plenty. But, if you have, like, a lot of canned foods that don't have the flip top, make sure you have a hand-cranked can opener. It took me so long to be able to say that. Hand-cranked can opener. Okay. So, make sure you have one of these. Something else that you want to consider having is a nice good knife with a strong blade on it. Something that's smaller than your palm, because in Texas, if you have a blade that's bigger than your palm, then for some reason it's illegal, even though people have different sized palms. It's really ridiculous. But even if there isn't flooding, usually there are very, very high winds, and I'm just like wheeling this thing around. There are very, very high winds, and so a lot of times trees will fall, and you'll need something to cut away at them. And remember, cut away from you, not towards you. And just a great thing to have in general, sleeping bag in a pouch. Almost anything in a pouch is great because it's in a pouch. Cash. Remember to have cash, because the ATM machines are usually the first thing to go. So cash, watch out for strangers, because a lot of people here get really, really desperate because, like, we still have a lot of Hurricane Katrina victims that are here, and right now outside there are a bunch of sirens. A lot of people are panicking because the media hasn't helped at all with the situation. So, just be careful, because people right now, they're not thinking clearly for the most part. Also, make sure your car has a full tank of gas, because generally when this happens, after the first evening, there won't be any more gas left in town. Another thing that you should remember is to take your records. So, medical records, if you have them, especially if you have special needs. Also, vaccination records for your pets, and your passport, because you don't want to leave that behind, because things can get very chaotic and looting has been known to happen, so you just want to be careful. So remember to stay safe and good luck, and hopefully it won't hit.